And we are live. All right, thank you everyone for coming out. Welcome to the Streamily offices and welcome to around the world as we are streaming from multiple different places. Uh-oh, we think we have our last minute guest coming in right now. Let's see. Her camera's not working either, but we'll see if it comes in. For now, let's introduce ourselves. We'll start out with Boris. Boris, why don't you go first? Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm getting a big echo here.
Are you getting echo?
That's me.
Big echo. I'm getting the echo while I speak, so this is good. So maybe it's gone. No, still getting it. I hope that either this is going to be fixed or that we can get used to it without brains. I'm not sure if I can get used to it.
Is everyone else hearing that as well?
No.
Oh, really? Oh, maybe it's just me. Okay.
The audio's fine.
I'll put on some headphones.
All right. Well, while he's doing that, I'm going to actually bring it on.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, then I'm going to push you instead, Charisse. You go first.
Hello, everybody. So happy to be here. This is my first time here. My name is Charisse Booth, and I voice Sojourn.
Yay!
Welcome to our reality.
Okay, Paul, you're up.
Did you say Paul?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Hello, everybody. Out in TV land, this is Tanaka Uchi, and of course, I am the favorite samurai archer, Hanzo.
All right. Woo! All right. Let's see if audio is working for our friend Anna Amari.
I'm still getting loads of echo. Let's see.
Really?
Yeah, I'm hearing everything twice. Yeah. Let's see.
Aisha, are you here? Maybe not. We'll give her an extra couple seconds. She's in Cairo, so unfortunately, this is probably very, very tough on her Wi-Fi. So please forgive us there. Jeannie, how about you go next?
Oh yeah. Hi everyone. It's Jeannie Lole, and I am Echo, and it's good to be back.
Woo! Kara, how about you next?
I'm Cara Theobald, and I play Tracer.
Theodore, up to you.
Hello, I'm Theodore Chen. I play Zenyatta, Experience Tranquility.
Anjali.
Hello, I'm Anjali Gomani, and I play Symmetra.
So weird.
Yes, indeed I do. I don't know why I'm talking like that.
Boris, you
not
still having trouble, my friend? We lost him.
Oh, no.
We got a man down. The universe is not in Sigma's favor today, unfortunately.
Oh.
The universe is not with him. Aisha, are you here?
Back.
I love technology.
Gotta love it.
Almost here.
Right. So close and yet so unbelievably far away.
Yay! Oh, we hear you. Oh.
Oh no.
It's like a message from someone in space, and you're like, oh, I can
No,
hear
but I
them.
have an idea. I have an idea that I'm going to try. Hang on.
Welcome back, sir. Give her a couple more seconds. Boris, are you still getting echo? Yes or no, sir?
That's a yes or no
Comedy of errors.
All right, well,
Well, we're here.
Yeah.
we're here. That's what really
I've got great signal.
So thank you all for being here, and thank you all.
Oh,
the
you
viewers
guys!
at
Oh
home
no!
for-
Oh no! Wait! But Jen Cohn has been sitting in the waiting room, waiting to be let in for 10 minutes. Apparently, she just texted.
She's. I don't see her, and there is no. I don't think there's a waiting room.
I think she might have gone somewhere incorrect.
Does she have the right link?
I'm gonna
Uh,
fix that
I-
right now.
Thank you very much.
Anjali
Yes,
is
of
on it.
I know you were on the
Let's see.
ball.
It says she's backstage.
I don't see her
I'll tell her
down
she's
here.
not there.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's Boris.
Must be in the Fortnite.
There we go.
Hello.
Better now,
Nope.
right?
There we go.
Okay.
There's someone.
I fixed it.
There we go. All right, that's one problem down. It's one down at least.
So is he gonna?
Yay.
You introduce yourself.
Right, let's do it.
Yeah, Boris, give us the introduction that we've all been waiting
Tell us
for.
who you are.
Oh, well, I'm happy to be here. I'm Sigma, and may the universe continue to sing for you.
Great.
And I'm happy to be here with all these lovely people. It's nice to do this again. It's been a while, right? For me, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guin do this every day, but for me, it's been a while.
Now you were walking around with Anjali in London somewhere. Where were you? Down in
Yeah.
Covent Garden?
I saw Kara and Anjali and Dolia as well, actually.
And
last night.
Dolia,
That was
yeah.
lovely to see those beautiful, wonderful ladies. I was only there for an hour and a half. I had to run, but I hope you guys had a lovely
Because
night.
he was double booked because he's that popular. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All I know is that he left not one, not two, but three beautiful women. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like your priorities are off. I'd just like to say that. I'd just like to say
I have
that.
nothing. I can't.
not
I'm just gonna call it as I see it. That's just
Yeah,
my.
it
that's
is what
just
it
my
is.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's what it is. Fair.
I made a
Either
mistake.
money or
I made a
women.
big
Money or
mistake.
women. Let me see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
No, it was so nice to see you guys.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
lovely. We were in
likewise.
Soho, to answer your question, Paul, we were in Soho.
Soho,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I lived in London for a year, so I was working on the West End, and I lived.
Oh, yeah.
Right behind the aquarium, County
yeah.
Hall.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Nice. And Jeannie, you're from here, yeah?
I'm from Liverpool, but I am.
Oh, I
from
remember. I'm sorry. That's
island
right.
Known as England. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right. You are a Liverpudlian, which is
I'm
one of
a-
my
I'm a
favorite words
Scouser,
in the English language.
Yeah. But, the accent's not so strong, but it comes.
how's the weather been in London? Has it been cold?
Toasty
Warm
warm.
today?
I mean,
Warm?
No one
Warm
cares about
girls.
the
I mean,
weather
it's been
at all.
warm. It's been warm since I got here. I don't know what it was before that, but it's been warm since I got here.
It's been good. It's been
that's
nice.
nice.
It's been lovely.
We've had a nice spring. Well, that's nice. Good for you.
My alliums are growing in my garden.
Nicholas, you're gonna have to wrangle us, or we will never. We'll just talk
Okay,
amongst
okay, I'm
ourselves.
sorry,
and
I'm sorry, I'm
like,
sorry.
stop it.
All right.
You have to jump in here, or people will just start talking to each other, and then
People have already
our
left.
beautiful audience at
They're
home
talking
will
about the
not
weather.
get
Let's
anything
leave.
other
Welcome
than our
to the
side.
weather chat with Paul
Yeah.
Nakauchi.
I'm telling you, people. That's what the people really, really want.
I don't know. I
But
feel like they can look up. They can look up what we're.
what we're up to. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. What I do have a couple questions. A lot of them from social media. We sent out some stuff on Reddit and Twitter asking people if they could ask you guys any questions. A lot of them, and Boris and Sharice, you guys were just talking about this before we got in here, was about the audition process for Overwatch and what that was kind of like. Because I know that a lot of you are voice actors kind of full time. Some of you it's kind of a side gig, and some of you really mostly do theater or live TV. And all of you kind of also appear in the games at different times. Some of you kind of, I've been there since the beginning, and others were added in later. So I'm kind of curious how that's changed. You guys were also mentioning the voice director, Andrea, what that kind of work was like. And you guys mentioned as well that once you were actually in the room, they kind of let you rebuild the character as you like. So I was kind of curious. Maybe we can start with you, Paul. What was the audition like? Was it something that you know about video games? I'm just curious, kind of what your first exposure was to it.
Well, I had worked on World of Warcraft and
Oh yeah.
And done a couple characters for them, and so I think they had called me in when Overwatch was starting. They had called me in, to audition for Hanzo, and initially, they didn't really know who the character was going to be. Hanzo and Genji were kind of like this composite character for a while, and so yeah, they were like, and so then they made it into two characters. So I mean, and then I had like several like auditions. Like, they would call you in and say, we'd like to do this or do that, or
Right.
and so it was actually kind of a long process, and
Huh.
I never really knew what it was for, because they don't tell you any of those things. They just tell you, okay, it's just for a video game. And I thought it was just going to be like, World of Warcraft, or just a character on some, I had no
Sure.
idea it was going to be like a major character in this huge universe. So that was my experience.
And then for you, Jeannie, you kind of came in. You were one of the last characters added before Overwatch 2, and so I'm curious. The game had already been out. Did they give you a little bit more information, like, hey, here's what to expect, here's what the game is, blah blah blah? Did they give you much info before you actually got the part?
No.
Oh, fair enough. Great. But once you guys were actually in the room, they had like concept art of those characters.
Yeah.
Like, did they show you animations and stuff like that?
Yeah, they did. They showed the animation. They showed a bunch of cinematics from different lore stories for the other characters. Yeah, and then Andrea sat me down and she was like, "Okay, this is what the game is. This is how the community is. It's a really cool game, and the community is really cool, very special." She said, she was like, they're so special, they're so welcoming, and I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, but she was right, and everybody is lovely and warm, and just I think it's a really special game to sort of be part of.
Yeah, and if you guys at home have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. We'll definitely be featuring several questions during the stream. And I'm curious as well, for those that have been here or at least been a part of the games for a while, they kind of call you in at somewhat at random, or at least seemingly at random, with months in between you guys working on that character. How easy is it for you guys to kind of return to that character, or return to that voice, or return to that kind of style, especially months in between shooting? I shot something totally different. I kind of forgot Overwatch existed for a couple weeks, and now I have to come back and kind of do this consistent performance. What is your trick for getting back in? Do you have a specific line that like gets you there, or do you have to watch a cinematic? Do they help you with that? I'm curious, that kind of process.
They do help us with that, and this happens in a lot of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kara. Go.
No, please. I'll go next. You go.
No, Kara.
Oh, no, me? I was just going to say, I first started working on the game in 2014, which is a very, very long time ago now. So I kind of feel so familiar with the character of Tracer that now, even if there are months between sessions, she's so easy to access and easy to slip right in. I don't know if Angela was about to say, they want at the start of a session, the team will play us a bit of reference, so we get to hear a selection of our character, just to sort of get in straight away to where the pitch of our characters are, which is a really great memory jog. I sort of feel, for a lot of us, we've been doing it for such a long time, that the characters are just so there that they are so easy to access now.
Yeah. Well, even for me, I'm still very new to this as well, because I'm one of the later characters who joined, and
Right.
they always whether it's JB or Andrea or whoever's directing. Well, it's actually only been those two, but they always say, like, let's play you back a bit. And I always, it's great, okay, thank you very much, but I never really think it's needed, because it's just there, It's I don't know if for me, it's also because I just love the character so much. I'm just so happy with that character that I've got him very much in my head. It's a big part of me, so it's really easy to just tap into that again.
Wait, I think we have Jen Cohn.
Hey, there she is! Yay!
Yay!
Oh, there she is!
That was comedy, guys.
Invite us to run your future video.
It's the
Jen-
same thing that happened to me. It's because she's got the YouTube feed
Yeah,
on
now she
on the
does.
side. That's
Oh.
what that
Yeah,
echo was.
yeah. She said
Oh,
you got to shut off the
interesting.
YouTube at the same time
Like calling
because there's a
in.
lag too.
You gotta
Go
turn it
kicked
off.
off.
So the YouTube feed needs to be switched off and terminated,
Good.
which
Okay.
It's
or
off?
at least it's muted.
Okay,
It just
now I
needs to
can
be
see.
muted.
Hi.
There she is.
Hey.
There
Better.
she is.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
Hey.
Yay.
Hello.
Oh.
It's so nice to meet you, Kara. You and I have never been on a panel together before. This is so exciting. This is
I'm very
great.
excited. So nice to see you virtually. I hope we get to do it in real life soon.
Right, exactly. Through the screen. And hello, Mom. I miss you.
Unfortunately, audio is
I'm taking
is still
pictures
like,
now before anybody else goes away.
but she's here in spirit.
She said, "I miss you too," so we can just do the lip reading thing and
Exactly. We'll do the voices. That's what
Yeah.
we'll do. We'll do a live reading.
Amazing.
And I might as well ask Jen. Tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself. Tell us about what's going on in your life.
Oh, wow. Let's
I threw it all on you at once.
What can I tell you? I'm good. I'm Jen Cohn. I'm the voice of Farah in Overwatch, and now in Overwatch 2. I'm super excited. I am very busy right now connecting people through style and self-expression through the gaming community and the fashion community. I do a Twitch stream where I do style streams with people. Several people who are here on this panel have been in it, and there are others who I want to be in it. And I also am working on a podcast talking about creating more style content going into the budding metaverse. And I'm right now rehearsing for the first ever production of Shakespeare, of Hamlet, in GTA, in the metaverse.
Really?
Oh, wow.
So freaking cool. So with a group called Rustic Mascara, this very rock star project by a British stage actor named Sam Crane. So working on that. So it's super fun.
So
I'm
it's
very-
full VR? Like it's full, like you're in it? Or
Yeah, it's so we all have avatars in GTA, and we're about to start. We've just gotten through auditions, and we're about to start rehearsals for a full production of Hamlet in GTA.
Wow.
Wow.
How long is that rehearsal process going to be? That's like really interesting.
Like 2 or 3 months, I think.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
Do you do it? Is it like one performance, or do you do it like a bunch of times, or how?
I
does that
am
work?
not in charge. I just know that I'm in, and I'm having, and so far it's so rock star. It's, you know, the thing that I love so much about all of this like crossing over the ways that we express ourselves with gaming, with theater, with fashion, whatever, is there's this room for incredible creativity and breaking out of the confines of all of the things that we know. Like, the thing that we love so much about gaming and about getting to be these heroes, and the way that our people all attach to these heroes, is that you get to be these bigger versions of yourselves and not be held down by gender, by ethnicity, by gravity, by body parts, by any of it. And it's the same thing when you're creating anything in these new virtual worlds. So to get to do, like, work on a Shakespearean project in that is freaking outrageous. But I'm finding that with fashion too, because I'm working on all this fashion stuff with that, and it feels like the Wild West. It feels like we're,
Can I ask a question about that? Because can I ask a question about that? Because when you say GTA, I keep thinking Grand Theft Auto. What does GTA stand for that is not Grand Theft Auto?
Yes, Grand Theft Auto.
It is Grand Theft Auto?
It's Grand Theft Auto.
So there's Hamlet in Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
Really?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, because when we think of GTA, you think of it as just being like driving around and shooting But no, like, you actually can walk around. You're in a world. We're doing it in a version of GTA that's set in Los Angeles, in Los Santos. So like, we had rehearsals in the Hollywood Bowl. Like, it's outrageous. It's completely outrageous.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
kind of on that, so well said, Jen. Like that whole piece was very, very, very eloquent. But speaking of, characters being an expression of the self and kind of a bigger version of yourself, I'm curious. This is something that we got from Twitter. Someone was curious, what is something about your Overwatch character that you first connected to, that personality similarity that you guys had, whether it be a similar taste in music, even if it's something that you came up with in creation that helped you go, oh, I think I understand who this person is now. I know this character, or I know this person. I'm curious if anyone has an answer for that one.
Oh, Kara, you want to go? I can tell.
I know. No, I'm just like, how do you know when it's your turn? I mean, I can talk. I think with Tracer, probably the thing I most connect to is sort of her try and look on the bright side, and she's sort of completely positive no matter the circumstances, and even when they're in battle or things are going terribly wrong and the Omnics are taking over, she is absolutely she loves what she does, and she's very passionate. She loves the people she works with, and so she manages to sort of find that positive spirit no matter what. And I like to think I do that ish.
You do.
But maybe that's sort of like just sort of blowing steam up my own ass. But yeah, I think I try and look on the bright side like she does.
On the very flip side, Symmetra and I both can sometimes be perhaps less tactfully direct than the average person. It's not so much that she's throwing shade as that she just calls it as she sees it very directly. So when she says you were not meant for greatness, to her it's not a dig, but is a dig to anyone else. And I have a tendency sometimes to say things in a very direct way that I did not mean. Also, I cannot walk by a picture that's crooked without straightening it. It's just like not a thing. I was walking past a cosplayer the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love your cosplay. Let me adjust your crown." So yeah, I'm not capable of that. So it's not a good trait. I'm not gonna lie.
Jeannie, how about you? Or Jen, go ahead.
I think Jen was.
Yeah.
When you go for your BFA in an acting program in college, you have your meeting with your advisor to talk to you about what they need to work on with you to get, for you to become a better actor when you graduate. Yeah. And when I met with my advisor, the advisor said to me, "Jen, you are like a great piece of bread with too much butter on it. And we need to scrape the butter off to make you just a great piece of bread." And so related to that, what I always say about Farah is that Andrea Toyas, when she was casting it, was able to hear the great piece of bread through all of my butter, because Farah is not an overly buttered piece of bread. She's just a very fabulous, integral seeded piece of bread and not terribly buttery. So we share the bread under the butter.
Wow.
Yeah.
But she's like butter.
She's not anti-butter, but she's not. Farah is not buttery.
Yeah.
She's like, but her voice is like butter. Her voice is like butter.
Sure, she flies like butter, but she's not buttery though.
Yeah, and Theo could relate to those food analogies, right?
True. Paul and I were good enough to attend many a convention where we got to see my eating habits.
No, we were actually in Australia, and we went to this nice restaurant because we wanted to spend our per diem, and it was Theo ordered 3 entrees, and I said, "Are you going to eat all that by yourself?" Yeah. 3 entrees.
He's got a manwich appetite.
You go.
I'm trying to enjoy myself here.
Hey.
But in your defense, you also feed everyone, because Theo throws these wonderful parties at his home, he and his wife, and they feed everyone, and he is the king of the grill. So he doesn't just take the food; he returns it to the world.
And if you've never seen him, he wears an apron with nothing on underneath.
I love that.
Wait, you're all invited.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's can I have a hot dog? It's okay, yeah.
Come on,
Welcome, Charisse. Aren't you so excited?
Actually,
You'll be in the next
when you
one.
said food, I was like, oh, and you throw parties? Can I be invited? But to answer the question, based on what I think has been revealed about Sojourn thus far, the one thing that I connect, the few things that I connect with in her are aspects that she has that are are examples of me when I'm at my best. So I believe that there's a fearlessness in her, and deep loyalty, and a genuine connection with the people that she fights with.
Yeah.
And I know that for me, I'm very, I'm just very loyal with my friends, and I care deeply about them. And it was nice for me to inhabit a commander that wasn't just a fierce fighter, but that actually had a heart.
Right.
And I just really appreciate that about her and what I was able to. I don't want to say too much, but just what I was able to explore in the work that we've been doing with her. It was very satisfying as an actor to get to go to those places.
Extremes,
And I see in a lot of the cinematics, because I've been doing this deep dive into Overwatch, and the amount of emotional complexity that is alive in the heroes and what they get to explore is actually very moving to watch. I remember watching a cinematic that was sort of shown to me as sort of like helping me sort of on board, get to know the world of Overwatch. And it was at the end, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I wish I could remember the name of the cinematic. I think it was when May was introduced.
Oh, yeah.
And it was May and Winston and Tracer. And it was like they were the only ones who were going to fight.
The Overwatch 2 reveal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. And then when things turned, I was like emotionally invested, yo. I was like, this is the world that I'm getting to participate in. So yeah, I think Sojourn fits right in the pocket of that she gets to also be connected emotionally in ways that previous heroes are.
Yeah.
So that.
But I think I really like that point, that I think in general, and almost somewhat to Jen's point, that and someone I think put it really well, that Overwatch is an aspirational universe. That this is an international cast of heroes that represent the best of what humanity has to offer, and gorillas too, and hamsters and the whole 9 yards. But this made me. Oh, go ahead. No, please.
No, I was just saying, and robots.
And robots, of course. And to that point, Theo, as you mentioned that you enjoy cooking and eating, if Zenyatta could eat, what do you think his favorite food would be? What would be his guilty pleasure food?
Well, I think out here in LA, we have a chain restaurant called Porto's Bakery.
Oh yeah.
Potato balls, and I think they're very similar to the Zenyatta's corpse, and I think we would enjoy that.
The seafood or the potato ones?
Oh, the potato balls for sure.
The potato balls. Okay.
Yeah, potato ones. Yeah.
I'm not hearing this.
Yeah, I feel like Zenyatta's probably a vegetarian. I feel like that seems to track. Right?
That's true, huh?
I mean, those potato balls would work. Potatoes are technically veggies. Yeah. Starchy veggies. I know you live in Hollywood.
Did you say guilty pleasure?
Yeah, I was saying guilty pleasure food.
So maybe he's guilty when he's eating the
true.
seafood.
That's true.
How about you, Jeannie? Do you think Echo would have like a favorite food, even if it was like even a memory of Dr. Niaus?
Yeah, I think she would. I think she would probably frequent sushi bars. I think she likes sushi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's got a refined palate.
Of course. I saw a great one in the comments recently that when you did finally get the role, right, and they're like, hey, here's a couple photos, right, even of like the Genji Hanzo kind of crossover character. What was your first reactions? Do you have any first instincts that led somewhere specific? Or it's kind of a tough question. It's having you call back pretty far, but go ahead, please.
I immediately started crying, and I will tell you why. Because when I was growing up, I had Wonder Woman, and that's it. And the only thing we really had in common was that we were female and brunettes, and that was the closest thing I had to a hero who looked like me and that I could look up to in this kind of superhero genre, or in it really in entertainment for that point. And I was obsessed with Wonder Woman, and she's awesome, and she's a great role model. But when I first came into my session and saw Symmetra and thought, those little girls today have her. And she paved the way, with the devs on Overwatch, they paved the way for a whole generation of people to have heroes that they can identify with on multiple levels. On not just because of their ethnicity, not just because of their gender, not just because of their sexual orientation, whether they are neurodiverse, whether they're an amputee. There's so many different complexities to all of these heroes, and the kids can find some, and grown-ups can find a hero that they identify with on a deep level. And then when you do that, when you see yourself portrayed, when you see your own personal story or something portrayed in any kind of entertainment, literature, games, movies, whatever, you can identify that in yourself. You can identify that hero in yourself, and you can take that out in the world after having kind of a sense of it, even if you don't have a sense of it as yourself. And so because I grew up loving mythology, loving superheroes, loving games. I was a gamer since I was a little girl, and to have that out in the world and know that I would get to do that was, I didn't get that she was going to be that. Because as people have mentioned before, we know very little when we come in.
Right.
I had no idea that was what was going to happen. I also was astonished that she could wear those thigh highs and run without them falling
I know, my lord.
But I mean, she does mold reality to her will, so it's entirely possible. But that's she's just making it happen. But yeah, I lost my shit. Sorry if I'm not allowed to curse, but I just did. Yeah.
Great answer. Hard to top. But does anyone else have at least a first reaction that they remember from that, of seeing the character and being like, oh, I have a new idea, or I think I know the direction I want to go here, or because especially I think a lot of those animations too. Oh, go ahead, John. Yeah.
Well, first I have to say, Aisha just said that she had to roll, so she sends love to everyone, and she's sorry she had to go. She was like,
no worries.
Let everyone know. So
yeah, it's late in Cairo too, so I don't want to keep her too long.
Yeah, no problem. I thought that they made a mistake when they cast me, which is the honest truth. I had auditioned for Farah, and it was 6 months before I was cast. And I have an excellent habit of forgetting what I've auditioned for, and then I do the audition and then I completely forget about it, and I never think about it again until I get the call that I booked it, if I do. And so when I was cast, Overwatch had a code name, Farah had a code name. I sent it in and forgot about it, and 6 months later, I get the call that I've booked this game and this character. And my response was, no, I never auditioned for that. I don't know what you're talking about. And so I showed up in the studio saying, like, guys, you've got the wrong Gen Con. There's a mistake. And they were like, no, it's you. I'm like, no, I never auditioned for this. And then they showed me a visual of what she did and how she flew. And that was when I realized, I didn't even realize she was a hero when I first did that audition. So that was when we learned that she was a hero. And the way they described her at the time was they said, think Captain America. And so for me, the idea that there would be a female hero who wasn't in like a cleavage-bearing spandex something, and who could be good in her skin and be macho and be strong and be obsessed with justice and not just on a vengeance tear, or have some sort of like, I don't know, to actually be obsessed with doing what was right and bringing people together and being good in her skin and not being necessarily a stereotypical female sex object was a really exciting character to get to voice. That was a great thing. So I was very excited, and the session was on my birthday. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
even better.
I had no idea it was going to be a big deal at all. I thought it would just be another gig. So
Right.
Very
See,
excited.
and they had never seen you in your platform yellow boots.
That's
Yellow
right.
platform boots.
They knew about the platforms, the things they could have done, right? I know.
Right.
Ooh.
Apparently, they did know about me running in high heels in real life, though, because Symmetra's always in high heels. So I feel like they might have. I mean, I'm not saying they did pattern her after me, but I'm not saying they did.
They had been secretly tracking you the whole time, Anj. No question. No doubt.
I mean,
I think Hanzo's physique is clearly modeled after Paul.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, 100%.
No.
Yeah, y'all don't know. If you don't know, y'all need to know that Paul Nakauchi is jacked. Like,
You heard it here first.
yeah. Help
You know
him!
what? The one thing about Hanzo, though, is like, I wish that he looked a little bit more Asian. He looks kind of like a white dude, basically.
Yeah. That Pixar style kind of started to white him out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think they could have made him look a little bit more Japanese, you know. But I mean, in terms of his body, it's like his body's like crazy. But,
yeah, hard to get that physique.
Yeah, really.
Looks like yours, dude.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say that I think in my very first session, there wasn't an image available. So to start with, I was sort of just working off. The very first thing I ever worked on was the opening cinematic, the one that they announced it at BlizzCon in 2016. And so this was 2 years previous before everything was up and running. And I think maybe by my second session, there was some sketches for me to see, but before that, it was kind of just creating the character with Andrea down the line. I was in London and she's in LA. But the very first thing that I heard to sort of welcome me into the world was the music, the incredible score for that very first cinematic. And I had the script, and Andrea said, well, I'm going to play you the music just to sort of get a feel. And I was just like, oh, this is cool. It's so epic. And the music of Overwatch is absolutely incredible. But that was sort of my first flavour of sort of the world that we were in, rather than sort of, I mean, at this point, when I first got involved, I didn't know anything about games. I'm not a gamer. I've, never really been into gaming, apart from I don't know, Snake on my phone when I was a teenager or something, but I've never sort of been into video games really. Before I joined, I didn't really know what the company Blizzard was or what that meant. After I'd worked on it for a little while, I remember speaking to a friend of mine who I was working with, who was really into games, and I was like, oh, I've just recorded a game. And they said, oh, cool, what is it? And I said, is this company called Blizzard? I think they just announced it. It's called Overwatch. And they were like, and that was sort of my first hint of what a big deal or what that even meant. And I don't think it was actually until where I met some of you guys at BlizzCon, where they announced it, where I went out. That was the first time I actually had any kind of introduction to the world of the incredible, massive, vast world of
gaming universe. Yeah.
Oh my god! It really opened my eyes. This incredible space, and life's never been the same since. So yeah, but the first thing was just kind of the epicness of the music, which is very evocative of the game.
Now, do you think they'll have a big launch for Overwatch 2? Is that in the works? Does anyone know?
They must.
They're
putting a lot on it. They've been working on it for so long. They've been kind of hyping it up. They announced they've announced Sojourn months and months ago, and we're like, it's coming. But I think Blizzard likes to keep it close to the chest. You know what I mean? They like to.
There's an Overwatch 2.
Never heard of it. I don't know about that
Get
one.
the memo.
Well, then I'm curious as well. Once you did get a hold of those sketches, or even like you got to see the cinematic for the first time, when you came in the next time, did that influence your performance at all, Kara?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It was more just sort of amazing to see something that only existed in my brain there, on the screen, and the way that she moves, and the famous tracer laugh that I created.
Yeah.
I think I had to do it for even for the audition, where I just sort of was in my bedroom in London laughing and saying it for like a minute, recording it and sending it in. So all those little character traits and little things that I had sort of created and worked on with Andrea, seeing them in a physical form was just so in mind. And she's so cool. I mean, as a character to play, she's definitely the coolest I've ever done.
So do your little laugh. Do your little laugh. I'm. Oh, that's okay.
It goes on and on and on. I mean, the amount of I've done that laugh in my life now is well,
it's not funny anymore.
And people ask you to record that laugh, right?
Yeah, I mean, I find it actually what you were saying earlier, Nick, about the thing that you use to get into the character. The laugh is very useful, and there's quite a lot. I have quite a lot of freedom when recording Tracer's lines to sort of. The laugh is a great way in, or a great button on the end of a line. And sometimes they use it, and sometimes there's just not enough time.
Right.
But that's definitely sort of like a go-to character thing that I find very useful. It adds to kind of I don't know, the buoyancy of the line.
Yeah. I'm also curious, I figured to bring this up, but somebody brought up that it was under a code name. And I don't know if you can even say this, but I'm curious what that code name was, if you even remember what they were calling it, or telling you to call it.
It was Prometheus.
Oh, that's right.
I have a different one.
What was yours? Or if you can say.
Really?
Walnut.
Wow. Somebody...
I guess maybe you probably came on earlier, and then after a while they were like, we can't go with walnut. We got to give it something bigger.
Yeah, they were in a conference room panicking as they were making the thing. They were like, just anything. What do we have? We have another one coming from social media. This one I just thought was kind of funny, and I am genuinely very interested to find out. Is your character a cat or a dog person, would you say, in your opinion? Technically, you're the authority. Are they a cat or a dog person? Paul, I saw the dog earlier, so that might be cheating.
My character's a dog person because she's no dummy. My character's a dog person. Sorry. I can't deal with cats. Cats are trying to kill us all.
I would say Hans is a dog person.
Okay.
Clara's a dog person.
A lot of dogs so far.
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, there's been a hint, but I believe Sojourn is a dog person.
Yeah.
There's a certain warmth there that I feel is a key element as to why she's a dog person.
Yeah.
We all hate cats.
Because they're trying to kill us.
But I
think maybe cats are for Black. Maybe Blackwatch. All the Blackwatch characters are into cats. Maybe that's Overwatch
interesting.
Are into like that. Maybe it's a straight up cats versus dogs game. Maybe that's Overwatch 3.
Right.
That's
you know what it is. I think for Sojourn, because I actually really do like cats. Charisse does, but I think for Sojourn, I think cats have such a strong sense of personality, like individual personality, and they're not here to satisfy you or anything that you may want. They're there for themselves. If they happen to feel like coming your way and like gracing you with their presence, then they will. But I feel like Sojourn is not about that nonsense. Like I feel like she'd be like, that feels like nonsense to me, and I don't have time for it.
Dogs are very.
You either want to be here or you don't, and if you don't, be gone.
Right.
And dogs, they want to be there. They want to,
Right.
Yeah, it's clear. It's very
honest.
If I'm being honest about, If I'm being honest about Symmetra based on what you just said, Charisse, because I am a dog person through and through, but I feel like Symmetra might actually be a cat, not just a cat person, but an actual cat. Like she's definitely got that sense of that everything that you just said about cats. I feel like that's kind of where she lives. Not because she's not warm, but because that's kind of how she's survived.
Right. Boris, how about you? Or go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask what Jeannie was going to say.
Oh yeah.
I'm very intrigued.
Well, whether Echo is a cat person or a dog person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think she likes all of them, really. I mean, Jeannie, love dogs. I would love cats if they didn't make me so allergic. I'm so allergic to cats. So if you ever want to, like, you know, see my eyeballs puff up and in fact, just bring a cat into the room. But I love cats, but definitely dogs. They just want to be there for you. They just want scraps and cuddles.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Scraps. Everyone.
Boris or Fia, any thoughts, or do you think they would be neutral?
I'm a dog person myself, but I think Sigma would be a cat person. First of all, I don't think Sigma has time for anything because he's just it's science. He doesn't have pets. But if he had to have a pet, then it would probably be a cat because they can kind of look after themselves and they don't bother him with their nonsense while he conducts his experiments. And they are kind of evil, right? So duality.
Much like Jeannie was saying, Zenyatta would be, he is all embracing. But me personally, fuck cats. Dog guy all the way, even though I personally...
This is why we're all friends.
Yeah.
Right. Well, here's another one that I saw from social media that I've always been very curious about, especially with Overwatch. And I think video games in general, when you're in a booth, you know, no one's seeing your reaction, right? So you can be very physical. I'm curious when they're asking you to do stuff like being electrocuted or like falling off of a cliff, like all those kind of very like hard to put yourself in when you're in a tiny booth. Did you guys ever catch yourself like flailing your arms, or like how do you guys get yourself to that, like to really fully committing to that, like I'm falling off of a cliff? Or I'm very curious about that.
Go ahead, Jen.
My favorite space that I ever had to record those kinds of lines in was one that I recorded in Paris. It's the one where a lot of the Widowmaker stuff has been recorded. And in that studio, they actually have right in front of the microphone a roll bar to hold on to, so you can like shake yourself and like do all of this stuff. Because I find myself often like having to flail and throw myself around, and you have to do it carefully, not knocking a microphone and keeping yourself a certain distance from the mic for the recording quality. So having that roll bar was like the most helpful tool for me to do those sounds. I definitely move around. But I love that. So if anyone is running a studio and is watching this, get roll bars for that, because that was awesome. The holding on was great.
It's funny you should say that, because I've never experienced a roll bar here in the US, but in Europe, like I remember recording in Finland, they had this whole setup. And they're like, if you need to hold on to it, they've got these 2 bars here, one in front of you. They even had a bar behind you with a tennis ball, just so you knew how far back you could go, and you could also use that as if you're backing into someone and being like, whoa.
That's really cool.
So yeah,
why don't we have this here? I mean, I've recorded in a lot of studios and a lot of cities in the US. I've never had anything like it. I've only in the one in Paris had it. I freaking love that.
Did you find that any of those were particularly hard for you? Like, I mean, the falling maybe, but like there's a lot of different interactions. You're being electrocuted, sometimes you're being frozen, sometimes you're being whatever. Did any of them feel a little bit like, I don't know exactly what you want from me? here.
It's the combo the combo platters were hard. Like, okay,
Combos.
first you get electrocuted and then you fall off a
Oh.
Oh no, but still, it's a great point. I didn't know there were combos, so they even made you do 2 at a time.
Oh yeah, like I had one where it's like, okay, you're jumping off a building and you're on fire and you're screaming and then you hit the ground with a thud, and then we want to hear a final death scream. So it was like all that combination. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, of like being on fire and okay, it's and then you just kind of do it. Yeah.
I usually ask the question, "How do you mean?" and then get an example. I'm like, "How'd you do that, JB?" And JB's really good at doing the electrocuted and then jumping off a cliff and then having a death wail. And I'm like, wow. Or the best one was like, he goes, "You're being hit by a big anvil or something like that." And so you're hit and it's really short, the sound. I was like, I just don't know how that sounds. And he's like, it's like, oh my God, that's, yeah. So you learn a lot from it, but you don't really use it in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually am amazed at JB that the way that he could just sort of kind of pop it off in just like one like oh okay, well that's what I gotta do now.
And how influential would you say, you guys have talked a lot about JB and Andrea, how influential do you think that direction is just in general in a voice booth? Like how important is really, like you were just kind of saying earlier, and you didn't say these exact words, but that they're kind of actor directors, that they're very conscious of, hey, like this amount of takes, we don't want to overdo it. Like how important is that in any setting, just not even necessarily Overwatch? And what do you like to see in directors that always make you go, okay, great, like I feel taken care of, like I feel like I'm really going to have a good time here?
I don't know. Like, oh no.
Oh, I was going to say that, like what I was saying earlier, I'm hearing an echo. Should I not talk? Okay. So like I was saying earlier, being in the booth and working with Andrea from the very beginning, I felt immediately taken care of. I felt like there was room for us to take as much time as we needed to even play with who Sojourn was, even finding out who she was first session. And the wonderful thing about Andrea is that throughout the sessions, because I've done many with her, I do feel like she's such a wonderful actor's director in the kind of direction that she'll give or how she'll reinterpret what the writer is looking for in terms that feel actor friendly, that you can jump on right away. And she's very good about, I think we did get the take, let's just go back and I'll talk with my team. Yep, we got it, let's move forward. So she's not overusing you in the booth. And I think JB, there have been a lot of sessions that I've done with him that have been more combat sessions. And so with those, as people were saying about, dying and all of that, he was very conscientious about not overdoing it with the voice, and let's just do an A and B on these instead of an ABC. And then he'd cut in and say he'd give it just a smidge of a thing, and like what was said earlier, is he's really good at giving you a feel, like Jeannie was saying, about what that sound is that he's looking for, and then I can just mimic it. Which is super helpful, especially not having been a gamer myself.
Or having it be like a line reading, like a line reading. It feels like the nice in between.
It feels like a nice in between. Very occasionally will Jay be like, it's this inflection, or go up on that word, to get the sense of the style, what he means, the meaning of the line. But he's really good at directing you to find it yourself. Yeah. Both of them are.
I feel like we have to also mention Cal, because Cal is also a voice director on it, and he's sensational. And all three of them have such different styles. Andrea, JB, and Cal, but they all are incredibly voice actor supportive. And you always have the sense of them looking out for you, protecting your instrument as well as you as an actor. And they all have their own way of getting you there. And having a great voice director is essential to like sustaining a great VA session.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We're very lucky to have those three.
Jen, are you talking about Kal-El?
Yes.
Yes. I haven't worked with him on this particular game, but I've worked with him on something else, and I literally was just saying to him this week, I just love the way you give direction. It's so different. It's almost like I'm on my toes. I'm like, I think I know what you mean, and then I'm going to do it. And he's like, beautiful, wonderful, moving on. And I'm like, cool. It feels like such a great like dance with him. I just love it.
I love that you love him. I find him to be so supportive, and he makes you feel so safe. And you really like it creates an environment where you're very experimental. This is the job. I mean, being a great voice director means creating an environment where your voice actors really will go for it and really like feel safe to try anything. So yeah, I know we all talk about Andrea JB, but Kal-El totally is in our awesome rock star director.
The trifecta.
Now, I'd like to give a shout out for over here in the UK. We have Adam Chapman, who originally was one of the producers on the game for the way that we record it over here, but also now directs. And he was there from the very beginning when I even got the audition through Floor Tracer, and he was there in the room when I had my audition, and he's been there the whole time. And he's incredible, but now he sometimes directs sessions, but mainly we've had a lot of fun over the years coming up with the sort of Englishisms and the sort of comments, the very specifically London Tracer things. And sometimes there have been times when we've been able to like have a play around and improvise. And sometimes if something is a little bit too American, we'll be like, actually, what we say here is this. And so we've had lots of fun over the years playing around with that. So, I mean, he's incredible as well in terms of like, you know, creating a really playful environment when we're in the studio. I have a lot of fun when I'm recording Tracer. For that.
She's so fun.
Yeah,
and Theo, well, go ahead, Paul. No, please.
No, it was funny.
No,
I was. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Good. No, I just think in terms of piggybacking what everybody else was saying about JB and Andrea, one of the things that's so wonderful about them is that they're just so positive, and they laugh at the stuff that you do, which is like always gold for an actor. If someone laughs, it's like, okay, I guess that was funny, It's like, or so it's just such a great environment to be able to be creative.
Yeah, I think for me the key element for any good voice director is that sense of being supportive, and because I like most actors, I think, or maybe I'm just speaking for myself, you can be like incredibly paranoid and neurotic, and anytime you do your line, then you're just thinking, oh, they're trying to recast this right now, and because it's like, was that good? Was it good? And you just and they've always been incredibly supportive, and yeah, like the room.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something, Boris?
No, I'm good.
Okay. A little bit further down that road, because I found what you guys had said so interesting about like using actory language, right? And you guys kind of spoke just how actor friendly they are, and I'm curious, is that, for those that do a lot of VO work, is that very common in voiceover directors? Do they, because actors have such a very specific tool set, especially if you go through a BFA program, right? You get, every acting teacher has kind of their system, right? But they all kind of exist in that same thematic world where it's all about motivation, blah, blah, blah. How often do you have voiceover directors that are like, I need that sadder. Can we do that sadder? Can we do that a little bit more angry? Boris, yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's the trick, right? Is to be able to speak to actors, because sometimes when you're really stuck, it can be helpful to get a line read, because ultimately we're just here to do the job well, to get it done. And if you do get stuck sometimes. And so if the director, who knows infinitely more about the project than we often do, because there's a lot more context there in history, and they've directed all of us actors, and we've just done our own work, right? So we only know what we know, and they know a lot more than us, which is why they're doing that job. So sometimes line reads are good, and there's nothing wrong with that. But generally speaking, actors don't really like it, and I think it's also not always very productive, because you're basically then telling an actor exactly what to do and how to do it, and there's no room for interpretation, or then it's just going to be that thing, right? And as I said, sometimes that's absolutely fine, and I don't mind it at all. But I do understand that it's a very special gift to be able to speak to an actor, especially if the director is an actor himself or herself. And I'm doing this because I'm voice directing now, and I'm realizing how incredibly hard it is, because I do voices, and when I voice direct, I often have this impulse of like, just do it like this, and then I do it, and then I have to contain myself, because of course, no, because you hire that actor to bring their unique sensibilities and sound and experience and voice and characterization to the table. So telling them exactly how to do it is not what you want to do. So to develop that lingo, the way of speaking to someone, that is a gift, and I'm always in awe. Sometimes I always write down when I've got a good one. Sometimes it's you're saying something that's meant to show a hint of fear in it or something, and then a director will say it as if you are standing on top of the Empire State looking down, and it's cold. So you get it. So it's like, so you're not saying exactly how to do it, but you're projecting a situation onto the actor where they can imagine themselves being in a certain situation that will inform the acting and the reading of the line. And that is a very, very special gift. And Andrea has that she's got that down. And yeah, there's a lot of voice directors that I've worked with who've got that, but a lot of them don't. And a lot of them say it, do it like this, and then they'll do exactly the way they want it done. And so, it's everyone works in a different way, but to be able to speak, to really, to put you in a situation where, because ultimately you're in a little booth with a coffee and, you're just kind of comfy, cozy.
And maybe a roller to hold on
to. You have to pretend like you're in some sort of battle or some sort of horrible situation. If they can make you feel that a little bit more, just by saying a few words, then I think that's a very special thing. And the Overwatch people have that down.
I will say I was a little bit starstruck with one of the sessions that I had recently, because Courtney Taylor directed me. She didn't say that it was Courtney. It was she was introduced as Courtney, and as soon as I heard her, I was like, oh my god, and I got through the session, and then at the end I was like, look, I don't know if you're the Courtney that I think that you are, but I just want you to know that I love you, and I'm so grateful for this experience and for taking Echo in a not a different direction, but just to bring out more of her. And so, it's really cool when you work with lots of different directors, but especially when one is also a voice actor, because you really hear their experience and how they like to be talked to, and they pass that on to you, and it's always great to learn from people that you admire, So I don't know why I brought that up, but that's a big one.
Great.
Overwatch, because Big Ava Wing fan.
Well, we are at an hour, so I know our UK friends, it's getting a little bit later there. And Anjali, I know that you are potentially going to a show later tonight, so I definitely don't want to keep you guys from that. So at least Sharice and I are going to stay on and sign a few prints, and you guys can stay and sign prints as well, or just show off a couple prints. But I do not want to keep you guys too long on a Saturday. So this is your chance anytime now. If you need to bow out, get some sleep, you have places to be. Let us know what you're in. Let us know what you're doing, and we love you.
I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead because the Wi-Fi is happening and it's working right now, which is exciting. So I'm gonna just like bail as soon as I can. If anyone else is interested in checking this out, I have just written a book and I'm very proud of it, and I would love to check it out. It's called "I Am Fun Size for You: Thoughts from Any Human Living Giant," and Kickstarter for it, and
Oh no! At least link it in the chat, please, please link it. We'd love to have it. We're gonna shout it out.
I think it's all over her social media as well. If anyone is watching and wants to hear about her.
There you go.
Go get it! Go get it! Go get it! It's so. Anjali's book is awesome. Go get it. It's fantastic. I Am Fun Size.
Okay.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, it's been great, you guys. It's always fun hanging out with you guys.
Yes.
Nice meeting you, Paul.
I know, right?
Nice to meet you, darling, and say hi to Idris.
I will.
Okay.
Paul, I'm in your town, and my son was fishing right near your house.
You're in Los Angeles right now?
I'm in LA again. So I've been back and forth a lot since the middle of March, but I'm here for the rest of the month. So I need to see you, and I need to see you, Theo. And
Yeah, definitely.
I need to see you. So Angelinos and Sharice, if you're here, we should meet
in LA, yo. I'd love to connect.
We
We'll
need to all meet.
Let's get together.
Come out to the house. You know,
Done.
please.
I'm coming to everyone's houses. Everyone has great
Come out
houses.
to the house.
So nice. Well,
Let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. Bye, you guys.
Paul.
Great seeing you. Mwah.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
Please follow our socials to see when we're all signing things. I have a new Overwatch 2 flower print that I'm all excited about. I'm doing pops and prints, and
Nice.
all of us on our socials will be saying when we are doing our signing streams. So I look forward to seeing you there, honeys. Bye. Have a good one. Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm going to take off too, but it was wonderful seeing you all. And
Nice to
welcome,
meet you,
Sharice.
Theo.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Welcome
Nice
to
to
the
meet
family.
you.
And yeah, hopefully we can see you in person at some point, and if we ever get across the pond, see Karen and Boris. But yeah, thanks so much. You can follow me on Twitter at Theo Chen, Instagram, same. But yeah, good times. Great seeing you. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Have a great Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, I'm going to hop off as well. But hopefully I can meet up with you soon. I am coming to England, I think in July. So London peeps.
Yes. Come see us.
DM, if you're around. And Sharice, welcome. It's so great to have you as part of the family. You're in LA, so we should absolutely get together. And
I would love it.
Yeah. And thank you, Nicholas, for putting this all together and creating the little party that is today.
Of course. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Big love to you all. Bye.
Bye.
Anjali is back.
Yeah, she wants to mention.
Oh, yes.
The new series.
Yes, Miss Marvel, of course.
There we go. Hi, I've been knocking on the door saying, "Let me back in. I forgot a thing. You guys, I forgot a thing." Everybody, please tune in on June 8th to Ms. Marvel. We are so excited to bring that superhero to the world. Our lead, Iman Vellani, is chef's kiss. She's amazing.
I'm so excited for this show. I did not know you were in
Please
it.
tune in. Yes, I am.
That is
And
so
I
cool.
cannot tell you what I
That
play.
is
I
so
would have to
cool.
kill you. Thank you.
Okay, all right,
Thank
fine.
you. So everyone check it out.
Oh,
Okay, now I'm gonna go
Anjali?
before the Wi-Fi goes again. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you want to put a link to your book in the chat?
I did in the YouTube.
Okay.
I put it in the YouTube
Good.
chat.
Great.
Thank you.
Good.
Good
That's
looking
all.
out.
That's
Thank you
all.
so much. I did that. Have fun at your first signing. Bye.
Thank you.
See you, Angie. Bye. Oh,
All right.
group is getting smaller and smaller.
Smaller and
I
smaller.
know.
What are you doing, Boris?
Well, I'm gonna sign right after this. I'm gonna jump on my Instagram and I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna talk a lot of nonsense. And I hope that you're gonna join me, Cara. Jump on for at least 10 minutes. We can talk. We can interview each other. And
Ooh.
You can teach me some more Dutch.
I can teach you some
Oh.
Dutch. Exactly.
Good.
And maybe some of the others will jump on as well. We'll just we'll just have a little nice chat, and I've got some prints that I can show you, and then I can sign, and it'll be lovely. Join us there in 5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just enough time for you to get a cuppa.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Obviously, need that. I'll see you soon.
All right.
So nice meeting you both in person.
Yes, Cherise. So welcome to the Overwatch
Wait.
family of delinquents.
Happy to be here.
I'm going to do some signing now. I feel very lucky because I have lots of signing to do. Exciting, considering this is my first ever live stream signing thing. I promised Boris I'll join him for his Instagram live, whatever that means. But I don't know what you guys are doing right now because maybe how does it work? Tell me, Nick. Tell me.
Okay. So, did you see the little like signing assistant little button?
I've got that all set. So I think I can just do it. I'm going to press I'll sign live right now. I'm doing it.
Right, and then the only thing is the right on back just means that number. Don't worry about the actual signing it on the back. That's just to help you kind of keep track. Like, wait, am I on 6? Am I on 7? Just kind of as you go along, just put the little number on the back. It's going to be out of order because our VIPs get kind of a fast pass ticket. But other than that, once.
For everyone watching now, I'm going to definitely do my VIPs, I think, this evening. And if I don't get all the way through because it's like the evening, I will be doing another one, and I'll do that somehow magically through the power of technology very soon.
Yep, sounds good.
Right, and I think my first one is for you.
I thought, I was like, wait, did I order a print? I mean, if you want to make me one too, I would love one. But I was more surprised by that. That's actually not me.
Someone is using your name.
I know. Nick, it's such an uncommon one.
There's only one.
There can be only one.
Yeah. Well, I will say bye to you guys and try and figure out how to do this and make a cup of tea. But thanks so much for this. And
of course, thank you.
Lovely to meet you, Cherise, over there.
Yeah, likewise.
Likewise. I guess I'll see you guys soon.
See you soon.
Bye. Take care. Have fun.
And there were 2.
Woo!
All right, so let's get this signing on the road.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
So exciting.
First up, we have Mike.
We have Mike.
And if you'd like to test your skills first, we have one of the an extra tracer one if you want to test out your signature first, but that's up to you.
So this is, I know he wants it on the back, so.
Where does it say on the back?
Right
that's
on
just
back?
that's just the number.
Oh.
See that gets everybody.
So
no, you're totally good. Yeah, that gets everybody.
But so that would be on the front. Then.
Right.
I see. All right, so I will find that, and then. And do people tend to do their character name as well, or just their name?
I think they just do their name. Some people are into it. Some people also put like the classic line of their character underneath their name. It's again, some people come up with full signatures for their character. It's really up to you. I think people are just happy for the opportunity.
Okay. Well, since the special instructions are that, I'll just follow what he would like.
Perfect.
All right.
Mike,
Mike, you're my first signature. This is awesome. Thank you for getting this and requesting this from me. This is awesome. All right. So special instructions. This ends now is what you want. Okay. Let's see here.
So you came from the theater world, yeah?
Yes, I did.
So did you have a very traditional voice and speech like upbringing? Like who was your voice and speech like guru that you were kind of brought up with? Were you like a Linklater, acolyte? Were you?
That's interesting. There you go, Mike. Thank you again.
I can take that for
There
you. All right, and then we'll press complete on that for Mr. Mike.
I didn't, I was sort of like exposed to a voiceover teacher who did work with Linklater.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so academic in terms of how we learned it.
Yeah.
But she just led us in
Very experiential.
Very voice, like just voice exercises and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature to make sure that we weren't holding tension and that we were able to access our full range.
Yeah.
This is for Kimberly. Kimberly has special instructions. We're in this together, all of us, is what you would like written. Thank you so much for doing this. Aw, it's my pleasure, my pleasure. This is exciting. All right, Kimberly.
Now, when you first recorded that story mode, where it's just a couple lines, maybe 5 or 6, at least as far as my memory serves, right? Did they? Well, again, that assistant was like, "Hey, maybe you'll be a character." When they called you back, was it kind of a shock? Were you kind of expecting? Did you even remember? Like, wait, shit, what was that recording that I did?
There you go, Kimberly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're asking me what did I remember?
Yeah, like did you even remember like, oh shit, I recorded that, like that thing they're asking me about that again, or like were you did they give you any in the studio any like idea that hey, we'll be back, we'll reach out to you again?
Oh, after my first session.
Yeah, after that like story mode where you were kind of
I will say this.
eye in the sky.
I will say this, that when I actually booked it and I was brought into that first session and I met and worked with Andrea for the first time, there was a clear sense that I'd be back. It just wasn't clear when.
Yeah. Okay.
But I only got enough information to do what we were doing in that moment.
Right.
And I was encouraged to be like, you are also entering into an NDA secure zone.
Right.
So that was sort of like emphasized for me.
For sure.
Now I hope I'm saying this name right. Danilo?
I think actually
Danilo?
They may be in the chat because I see a Daniel in the chat. Well, actually, Daniel might be next. Actually.
Okay, if Danilo is there, and
let us know.
You want me to make sure that I pronounce your name correctly? I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Danilo or Danilo? Danilo? Thank you so much for asking for this.
That one's my favorite for sure.
This is really fun.
I think it's on Toronto too, which is even better.
Oh, that's really awesome. All right, no special instructions, so I'm just gonna sign this and maybe let's see.
Oh, he's here.
Oh, it's you.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, is it Danilo Flores? Did I get that right? I'm so glad you're here, though.
That's great.
Glad you're here.
And Daniel, yours is up next.
You know what? I kind of feel like Canadian hospitality.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you got it right.
Oh, that's wonderful. There you go, Danilo.
Thank you. And next up is our good friend in the chat, Daniel.
Daniel. All right, so we have special instructions. I think this is my favorite line at this point of the lines that have been released thus far. We're in this together, always.
There's also a really, and I've been playing the beta. I got access, and I noticed a really interesting interaction between you and or Sojourn and Orisa, where Orisa mentions an Overwatch cartoon show that was like in universe on the air, and Sojourn seems to have kind of a very specific opinion about that. They were portrayed as heroes when the reality was a little bit more complicated. I found that really interesting, and I'm curious if there was an Overwatch animated show for kids. What part of Sojourn would you like to have seen exposed, or like what part of Sojourn's story would you like to have seen explored in that kind of setting?
Do you mean when Sojourn was a child? Or if,
No.
if Overwatch was for kids?
Yeah, like if it was an animated television show, as it's kind of alluded to by Orisa, that Effie, her creator, had watched the Overwatch television show and been inspired by Sojourn as a character. And she found that, and at least if I remember it correctly, that it was very sweet, but that the reality was far more complicated. If there was an animated show on real television like there is in the show, what would you like to see explored about Sojourn's character? Her origins, would you like to see, what are the kind of challenges you'd like to see her run up against? It's kind of a toughie, but...
And Daniel, thank you for this. There's this, it's signed. I think what I would like to see explored is the beginning of the complexity, right? Maybe initially you see things that may be more two-dimensional about what you might expect of a character like Sojourn. And then you start to go a little deeper in and you start to see
the cracks.
The cracks in that, you see a hero and you're like, they can do no wrong. They've always been this tough and alert. They never make a mistake.
Right, they never fail,
Right, and they must have been brought up in an immaculate way.
Yeah.
But to then start to see the background of how they grew up and the things that they went without, or the things that we love about, origin stories.
Yeah.
We love to see how people found a way to overcome their challenges in life and rise above, move through. And unfortunately for some, those challenges determined a course in the way that they go through life that is troubling.
Right.
Whereas some are able to take that challenge and rise above.
Right.
And find a way to actually release goodness into the world. But also, sometimes when you're in that goal of doing good in the world, you're in a structure that may not allow you to just only do that.
Good. Or the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Right, and so just to begin to examine some of those complexities, I think it's good for kids.
Yeah.
Because they also are living complex lives.
Right.
Kids do not live a rainbow life.
Yeah.
And so when they start to see that someone that they have admired as a hero are facing some similar challenges or challenges
that are analogous.
It really does, I think, inspire them.
For sure. I mean, I think kids especially are forming their moral compass, right? They're deciding what they think is right and wrong, and so I think that can be so instructional in terms of like, this is like, these are the mistakes that can be made, like these are the...
And that they don't define you for the rest of your life. And sometimes you feel that they do,
especially when you're a kid.
Especially when you're a kid, and you may see a character in that series have that thing define them for the rest of their life, but then you see another character and it doesn't define them, but it gives them inspiration to take a different direction, a different path. And so I think seeing those juxtaposition, it's great for kids to be like, oh, I have a choice. I have a choice. I have agency.
Yeah.
So I think what a great question.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Grant Rich, the Overwatch King.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. I mean, I didn't know there was a king.
That is like a fabulous introduction there. Please add your favorite voice line. I have to say, "We're in this together." Always is probably my favorite voice line at the moment.
And Lamar and Minty Cup, I totally agree. I would also love an Overwatch show or movie. That I think
That would be
just that
amazing.
Overwatch cinematic. I'm so glad you said something because that also made me cry. And I was like, look, okay, I've been playing this game for a couple of years now. I feel like it shouldn't get me this easily, but something about that cinematic is like highly emotional. They do a really good job at pulling at the lonely heartstrings. Where is everybody? I'll be right behind you. Like it's especially for such a short little thing, it really sets itself up really well. And I think again, just shout out to the writers of Overwatch and in general Blizzard just is really really good. Yeah.
Yeah, they really are. They I think what you are referring to. There you are. Grant Rich, the Overwatch King. Okay, I see you.
Thank you.
What you're touching on is the emotional complexity and depth that I connected with so much. Being able to voice someone like Sojourn, and then also seeing the world in which I was going into, because before I even voiced her, before I even voiced much of her, because I think the initial voicing was her on the comms during a mission.
Right, the eye in the sky kind of, yeah.
And that felt a little bit more straightforward. She's on the job, she's guiding her team, she's solid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's helping them negotiate around unexpected things. But then seeing the cinematic of where these characters are allowed to go in terms of how they connect to each other and how they have genuine relationships with each other and how they go into the missions, they really do depend on each other. And it's not just the surface, you're my fellow soldier. It's like, we have a relationship. I care about you. We've experienced things together. You mean much
something
to me. Yes. And I loved that. I love that. Alexia, thank you so much for requesting this. And I actually do want to read what you said because it actually touched me. You said, "Hi, Charisse. As a Black woman, Sojourn means so much to me already. I've been a loyal fan of Overwatch since 2017, and I'm so looking forward to playing a fellow Canadian and learning more about her. Can you please write, stay true north strong. Stay true north strong. Much love." Yes, I can definitely do that. And, you know, it's similar to what Anjali was talking about, how she was so touched about being able to inhabit a character that she hadn't seen growing up. I do think it's important to see ourselves represented in media, on TV and film, in video games. So I'm so glad that I have the honor of voicing Sojourn and being a part of that meaningful connection for you. And my hope is many others. So, Alexia. And I gotta say, I have been to Canada about 4 times, and I've been to Montreal, and I've been to Vancouver most recently. And I have to say that every time I've gone, I have had the most wonderful experience. Most of the time, all of the times I've been there for a job. One was for a TV film, and the other one was for a TV show. And the everybody who was the local crew they're Canadian.
They're awesome.
They're so awesome. And so I have really good feelings about my experience in Canada. So
I used to work for the National Hockey League, and the Canadian.
did you?
Yeah, the Canadians were awesome. They were some of the best crews. They got no credit, which is why I'm so glad that everyone is shooting in Canada now, because all my friends in Canada are working. But back in the day, 5 years ago, it was really tough for people in Canada, even to people were moving out to LA because they were like, there's just not enough work. I don't want to do industrials for the next 30 years, you know what I mean, or like instructional videos for a Canadian company. And again, like when we came into town, it was great when the NHL was there, in a major city. But I'm so glad that
there you go, Alexia. Thank you so much.
That Canada has really great tax breaks for film productions, because it's brought so much great exposure to Canada and Canadian cities that I think didn't get a lot of credit. Like Vancouver is a really dope city that can be disguised as like literally every other city on earth, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I had a great time there. Mike G, special instructions. I will include the line from Sojourn. Oh, it's interesting. Or write "See you on the battlefield" in Overwatch 2. Maybe because I've been writing the others so much. I'm wondering if I should
Do like the custom one.
Yeah. See you on the battlefield.
Canadian hospitality, maybe.
Yeah, that might be nice. After we've been talking about
how
hospitable Canadians have been. All right, Mike G. Yes.
I think actually, she is in the chat. Miss Alexia, was her name?
Alexia, you're in the chat. Oh my gosh, yes.
I think maybe potentially Madame Narwhal.
Ooh, okay, maybe.
I'm hoping.
Code names, but I am going to, I'm going to cheer you on, Alexia. Yeah, I think. Thank you for that. Canadian hospitality.
Yeah, I've been playing the beta.
Yes.
I've been trying out Sojourn. She's a lot of fun. That slide is like so satisfying.
Yo, when I see the slide,
Dude,
it's
that thing is so
satisfying.
cool.
So if I could like control her doing the slide, I can only imagine what it feels like to like do that.
I think that's really, the thing that like I latched onto when yes, it is her.
Yay! Fantastic. Mwah, Alexia.
And I was thinking about this with Tracer too, that the animation that they do, even again, it's first person, so all you're really seeing is their hands. But even that, they do so much. The way Sombra like cocks her weapon back has so much personality to it. When Tracer does her recall, she takes her hands off of her gun and she re-grabs them. It's like, again, Blizzard obviously has the pick of the litter, I'm sure, for animators, because they are who they are. But either way, I think they really have such a solid team, and the fact that they're able to kind of do this kind of Pixar, but like a little bit more PG-13. They can ride that line so well. I think it's really impressive.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'm really glad to hear that about in-game play specificity, because I tell you, as I see the cinematics that are already done, and as I see them in the process of being done, as the layers of details are added, I'm like, that was new. So that happened. Oh, and those little shifts and changes, they give you like a peek into personality.
I totally
There's no
agree.
line there, but you know exactly what that character feels by the way that they walked away.
It's performance, right?
You know,
it's basically
like
performance,
a squint of the eye or a lift of the eyebrow, or like even there was something that's really sweet that I saw in Tracer when she and Winston are fighting. I think it's Widowmaker and Reaper.
Reaper, that first,
And they're I guess they go into like a museum or something.
With those kids in there,
And she was like, and she's about to leave, and she says something, and part of her lip is sort of
just
like
turns up.
There's just sort of a like a quirk, the way that she holds her mouth. That was unique to her as a character.
Right.
Just that little thing about how she held her lip, and she wasn't lisping, but it was just a little character thing.
Right, that was very
so
endearing. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So they know their stuff. All right. So this is complete.
Sorry.
Yes.
Boom.
And
last
then
but not
our
least,
last one, Josh. Thank you for requesting this and coming in and joining us today. Thank everybody for all those who requested Prince. This is my first time, so it's special to me. So thank you for being a part of that. Josh, special instructions. My favorite voice line. It is my favorite voice line so far. We're all in this together. So I am going to put that down. We're all in this together always. We're in this together always. That's the line. That's the line. Let's see. I'm going to give you one of mine because I want to sign on her railgun so that it's a little, you can see it a little bit better.
Sure. That's why we bring extras.
Yeah.
You never know, especially with Sharpie. You're like, I should bring a couple.
What are the other ones?
Oh, they're right over here. Yeah, sure.
Oops, sorry.
Do your thing.
Okay, there we go.
Won't be consistent, I see.
Yeah. All right, Josh, there you are. We're in this together, always.
And thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for staying.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Nick. Thank you for hosting my first.
Of course. I had a lot of fun. I think that was really cool.
Yeah. And I had fun actually getting to interact with
Right.
the other voiceover actors because we're always in a studio. We're isolated.
Right. Or on the other side of the world, it's just like not.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. So this was so special. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Go check out Boris and Kara's stream right now, probably on Instagram Live, and they'll keep the party going. Thanks for being here, and have a good one.